Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So today I'm going to talk about pulley ring glass, and yeah, it's a feature that started out in the Georgian period. I'll show you what it is. It's a ring that's like this, called a pulley ring. So yeah, that's it. It's not very common. It was reproduced. This is actually reproduction. I will show you some references for this. And yeah, and I have a few decanters and something else, so yeah, we'll get on and I'll show you some references and show you some glass. So here we go. So I thought I'd start by being modern, and I'd do some searches to see what we could find, see if there's anything online. I used Bing to start with, and the only ones that appeared are these two, which actually belonged to me from when I was using Collectors Weekly, and literally, yeah, nothing else. So forget Bing. So I went to Google, and we did get something other than one of my own my own two decanters that are here. So there's this pair here, and you can see here, there is the pulley ring on them. There. Can you see that? And there's a glass as well. So I'll expand this picture. Let's see how that comes out. Yeah, you can see it now. This is a pulley ring. What do they say? So it's out of stock. Is what it says there. So it was for sale. Let's see what comes up because I've not done this. This thing is Irish 1820. Yeah, that goes with the vesica that's here. Yeah, so and these leaning blazes, very Irish features, that and that in combination. And one of my references I'm going to show you is my Irish book. So, yeah, 1820 looks about right. So here we go. And it, as a pair, they're nice decanters. They're very rare. I've actually never seen these before. So yeah, I'm not surprised, and they're sold. So yeah, I'm not surprised. They are pulley ring decanters are quite rare things. Yeah, online, almost nothing. This is probably your best reference. And we can look in this book. Page 126, plate 91, Irish glass, gas they've said, but yeah, Phelps Warren. So we can actually look at that. This book is Irish Glass by Phelps Warren. Yeah, this reference doesn't match with what we were looking at online just now, but yeah, this is pulley rings here. You can see on this jug here. I thought it would come to this, but actually these numbers don't match up because this is the only pulley ring item I know in this book. Yeah, so they've got a date of 1800, which seems very probable because this is very, very plain. This is a shape that was used about then. So, yeah. Yeah, so here it is. So it was used in Ireland. It doesn't mean all of them. Everything else came out of Ireland, and in fact this style was actually used in the US as well, and you'll see that in my next reference. This book is The Decanter, Ancient to Modern by Andy McConnell, and yeah, so we've got a decanter and a glass here. Bullseye stopper. What date has he got? 1780 to 1800. Again, these are very plain, not like the cut lot ones that we saw from Ireland earlier. And yeah, it doesn't really say too much about them, but we'll move on. Let's see if I can. I've actually marked the page. Let's see if we can flick over and get to the next one. Oh yeah, so smooth. There we go. And so this is the next one we've got here. This is an American one. Stopper's really weird. We don't see any stoppers like this in the UK. And the fact that it's got a little foot as well, that's a bit strange for us as well here in the UK. And yeah, so American glass is usually tends to be a bit behind UK glass. The date we've got for this is 1820 to 1840. And yeah, for these neck rings and all of this, this seems really out of phase with English glass. And then the last one, let's see if I can go smoothly to that one without dropping all this. If it cuts, you know why. There we go. And yeah, so this is a reproduction. And I think there's some more in this little, yeah, there's another one here. So that's a pulley ring. And I have seen somewhere, and I haven't been able to re-find it, adverts for a whole service of this stuff. There's another one there with a pulley ring there. The dates he's got on the decanter is 1920s. The advert's from 1924. So yeah, that gives you an idea of where we're at. I think this is it an American advert? Yeah. So they were exporting amethyst and blue ones to America. In the UK, they had clear ones. So yeah, I've seen an advert with rinsers and glasses and all sorts of things with pulley rings on. So that is something you need to be aware of. And as I work my way through my stuff, I'll start with something that I think is a reproduction from this era. So we're going to go and have a look at the glass now. I'm starting off at the bottom end of what I've got here. So I believe this glass is a copy. So this would probably be from the 1920s. And this one isn't a copy, but I'm not even sure it is really a pulley ring. So we'll start with this one. Okay, so pulley rings are supposed to be applied. And you can see, in fact, if I scroll it round, somewhere there is a join. Can you see this? Look, can you see the join? But the thing about this is that it's very clean looking, very clean. And then the foot, although it's got striations in it, it's a bit small. And then underneath, you can see a little bit of wear here, a little bit of wear there. But yeah, it doesn't feel like 200 years. Yeah, that worries me quite a lot. So yeah, it does have a polished pontal. Now this one, look at the base of this. Look at the wear there. That looks like 200 years. And also it's got two bits of soot in it in the glass. You can see from the inside. I can actually. So that's embedded in the glass. So this has got good wear. It's got rubbish from inside that's got into the furnace that's then become embedded in the glass. But these rings don't, if they were applied, they've been so smoothed that you can't really tell. So it is a bit thicker here. It's not really hollow. In fact, actually it's a bit thicker on the inside as well. So it's difficult to tell how this was done. I can't feel a join in it anywhere. So yeah, I'm uncertain that this actually is a pulley ring. It might just be some moulding that's been done, but I don't know how, because this bit is thicker. Yeah, it's a weirdness thing, but it looks like a pulley ring, but I'm not certain that it is, but it is a real period piece. So first of all, I'm going to show you these two 1 pint decanters. I am less certain of this one. I think this might be a copy, so it might be only 100 years old. I'm quite happy this one's 200 plus years old. So we'll start with this one, and I'll try and show you some of the features. So first of all, it is a pulley ring, because you can see it is well blended in, but you can see the join just there. Just fingernail just catches in it, and there's another join here. So yeah, this is an applied ring, but it has been blended quite nicely. Yeah, the base. So the base is like a polished out hollow, and it only sits on this rim, which is a pain, because I'd really like to get an idea of how much wear it's got. The scratching you can see on the bottom, that's actually on the inside. So someone's tried to clean this with a brush that's got a metal tip, and scratch the buggery out of the bottom of the decanter. So you can see there's a lot of scratching. Then you've got this pond. So you've got like a giant pontle and then a small pontle in the middle, in effect. Yeah, but it looks very clean, doesn't it? It looks very clean. The stopper is done in the old way, but yeah, a lot of these reproductions are like that. But the glass just looks super clean and modern, and makes me worried. This one, in fact, if you look at them, you can tell there's a slight difference in the brightness between them. I think I can see it. I don't know if you can. This one looks a bit more washed out looking, the glass colour. Yeah, I mean, there's a chip there. So this has got quite big pulley rings on it. Let's see if I can find the drawing. No, I can't find it. But anyway, yeah, quite big applied pulley rings on here. And yeah, if we look at the base, it sits on this width here, and you can see it's just completely worn with matte. It's got quite a big bubble in the middle there. It's got quite a big pontle mark, polished out pontle here. A bit of the original broken pontles left there. But yeah, that big bubble is always good news. It's got a bit of cloudiness in the bottom. And then, yeah, it's got these little shallow. These cut panels look like they're probably not done by a machine. And then the top has got this funny pouring lip. So you see these, there's a lot. I've got quite a lot of decanters with this type of top early. And where the stopper, the ring where the stopper sits is quite thin, but then the wear on here is in the right place for it to sit in there, and it sits nice and tightly. So yeah, I'm happy that goes with that. So yeah, so I think this is more your 1800 type thing. So yeah, and unusual. I've only ever seen this one. I've not seen it in any books either. So yeah, we'll move on to the next ones I've got to show you now. So these are the last two pieces of glass I'm going to show you. I've got these two decanters. I'm pretty happy these are both period ones. This one is a bit like the finger bowl, where the rings are kind of very blended in, and kind of not like they're applied. They're like they're somehow pressed out of the surface. I don't know how this is done. It might be that they've just blended them in a lot and made them like that. As you can see, the base is very Yeah, it's got a bit of cloudiness, this one, but yeah, I'm happy with this. It's got a lot of wear on the surface of the glass. Can you see it as I'm turning it around? If you look at the surface of the bottle, it's got a bit of frit there. So that's a bit of sand that's not melted. Somewhere that's a chip there. There's another bit in the ring. Can't find it now. Unless I was thinking of the other decanter. But yeah, a bit of sand is always a sign that things are not actually, you know, it's early. There's also a bit of, looks like a bit of sand here that's just in the surface. Difficult to tell. Can you see? Something there, just marks in the surface that are not scratches. Yeah, but I'm happy. It's what makes me think it's earlier is that actually the pouring lip is not very wide, and as you went into the 19th century, pouring lips tended to get wider. In the 18th century, they tended to be smaller, which might mean this is a late 18th century one. Stopper fits nice and tight, and it's, you see, it's got wear on it where it sits inside the bottle, so that's quite nice. And then you've got this one, which is, so this is more of a barrel shape, this is more of a cylinder shape. Yeah, so these pulley rings are more like pulley rings. You can just see they are more blended than some of the others, but you can just see there's a join there, and I have seen it for the other ring. There it is there, join there. So very more blended than on the glass that we looked at earlier in one of the decanters we looked at. But yeah, again, look at the wear on the base where it, if I just see if I can get the light to touch it, can you see where it sits on the table on the edge? Very worn. Again, polished pontal. Big air bubble in the glass just there. That, look at that, and also a bit of frit, a bit of sand that's not melted in the mix. Another air bubble. So yeah, this has got everything about this says I'm a real Georgian piece. I've got annulated rings here, just 2, and stopper goes in nicely. So yeah, I'm happy with that one. And yeah, so these are actually, I know I've got 4, but they're not common decanters. One of them might be a copy, but even then, if it is, I'm left with 3. It's still not common. Yeah, so they're very, very difficult to find. Yeah, I quite like them. And let's get on and wrap this up. So there we are, pulley rings. So what have we learned? That there were reproductions, so you need to be careful of that. Some of them are 100 years old, some of them are up to 220 years old. Then on top of that, there's 2 ways of making them, it appears. Some of them are very blended in, I think, and some of them are more like an applied ring. What else? Also, they were made in 3 countries. So you've got Ireland, UK, and the USA. So, and the other thing is, they're not very common, whether they're reproductions, because Hill Houston, the company that was making them, doesn't seem to have made piles of glass. Then I don't think they're a huge factory compared to some of the others. And yeah, and it still is 100 years old. But yeah, regardless of whether it's a period or it's a reproduction, it's still not common. So with that said, I will put the description of the books, or the names of the books I should say, and authors in the description below. And please remember to like and subscribe, so I will be making more videos like this. Thank you. Good night.